A California woman finds a man occupying a crawl space underneath their house for months. And I wanted to bring this up because
JonBenet Ramsey.
Yes, we started talking about this with the JonBenet Ramsey case. And I can't tell you how many people, you guys, responded like, how could you even say that? There's no way someone was in their house for multiple days. They would have known. And I think last week we brought up a topic where somebody was in somebody's house for multiple weeks. It was confirmed. Excuse me. This is another situation. Now, I did have one person respond on YouTube giving me the name of what it's called. It's called Phrogging, Phroggin, Phrogging. That is living in someone else's home while they're there, which is scary but interesting. So this TikTok user, Ashley Gardino, shared a video of her finding a man in her home's crawl space. So basically, I know,
Scary.
basically what happened is they heard a noise. She didn't know what was going on, but apparently the noise was loud enough and clear enough that they were concerned. She called 911. After she got off the phone with them and the cops were on their way, she went outside to investigate and turned on her phone, which is super smart. That is a very smart thing to do, to live stream, because then if anything happens, it's not like someone can just take your phone. Like, there's already evidence.
It's out there on the internet.
Yeah, absolutely. So she starts looking around and sees that there's grass that's been like messed or flattened or whatever, and goes around the side of her house that way to a crawl space, and she hears a noise in the crawl space, and she's live streaming, and this man's arm pops out of the crawl space, like
creepy.
trying to reach for something, like without looking. And she said it was just a full-grown man's arm that was super dirty, and it freaked her out. And apparently when the cops got there and they arrested him, she found out that he had been there for months.
Dude, isn't there better places to hide than a crawl space? I feel like if you're frogging in somebody's crawl space, are you doing it to, like, stalk them? Like, what?
No. I think that if you're homeless, that's a convenient place to live. You have somebody that probably has AC on or heat on. You have somebody that, you know, if you're in a space where you can access the inside of the house when they leave, you got access to food and everything. Like, if you're a homeless person and you're a risky homeless person, I guess that would be a good decision. I mean, you risk getting shot or something, but...
Yeah, I'm talking about the crawl space specifically, because I've seen frogging where people, they live in somebody's house and they have access to all those things, but, like, a crawl space is, like, really dirty and tiny. Like, you can't even sit up.
Yeah,
You're just laying in there.
I mean, I've seen some crawl spaces where you can get up, where you can sit up in them and everything. I think it just depends. Now, this was in California.
Of course it was.
Yeah. This, it was in California, where there aren't any basements in California.
Right.
Well, there are, but very, very rare. Like, I never had one the entire time I lived in California. And this is by a lake, which makes it even less likely they would have a basement. This was in Lake Elsinore, California. Yeah, I mean, it's just wild.
I would freak
blown away.
out.
I agree.
I would freak out. And if you come in my house and you're hiding there and I have a gun, I will shoot you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You will get shot.
Especially if there's, like, people in your home that you care about. That is just a really risky thing to do. And, you know, maybe this is some of the downside of the state's governments that aren't able to help all these homeless people. The homeless population is increasing, and we're seeing them going into places like crawl spaces. It is scary.
It is scary.
Scary.
So check your crawl spaces. Check any little corner that somebody could hide. Because we've even seen, like, wasn't that in New York where he had this, like, weird loft place that he never went into in his apartment? And this is a tiny apartment. Tiny. He never went up there. It was just, like, useless space, basically. And a lady was legit living in there.
Yep. Living in there. She would get up when they were asleep and like step on the refrigerator and then the counter and get down and eat their food and everything, and then go back up while they were up and about in their house or whatever.
She'd just hide up there when they were up. Yeah.
Yeah, and she did that for months also, you guys. So I mean, I suggest you regularly check all those areas in your house, because you never know. You never know. So, but yeah, that's super scary, and watch out for Phroggers.
And that's just, it has happened so many times, even though it's not like, oh yeah, everybody's randomly going to get somebody living in their house without them knowing. No, it's rare, I would assume, but it definitely happens. Like way more than you think. And it definitely could have happened in John Bonet's case. And Gary Oliva, he wasn't the only homeless person there. He was a group of homeless vagrants that were getting mail from that church and being assisted by that church that was only 13 houses down. Like, there was numerous amounts of them.
I think on the last John Bonet video, I posted multiple pictures of the church and their homeless community. So if you haven't watched that, I suggest you do watch it, and you'll see how many homeless people they were helping there. It was quite a few. So, and imagine living in a big, nice place where you assume that family isn't there a lot because they're always doing events, going to friends' house, doing pageants, all that stuff. It's probably prime real estate for phrogging.
And it's a giant house with a basement that's easily accessible, and nobody ever goes in.
Absolutely. Check for Phroggers.